and welcome to Lularoe, Ashley Solomon, and Jay's Lularoe review. We are so excited to share with you guys a little bit of our back history with Lularoe, how we came to it, why we choose it every day, and the many blessings that it's brought to our lives. So we hope that you enjoyed that first little part of the video that kind of showed you a little bit about us and who we are and who our family is. We live in beautiful North Idaho. We are a hunting, fishing, camouflage loving family, and we sell Lularoe. So I fell in love with Lularoe a little over 3 years ago. I was pregnant with our last son, Emmett, and I was huge. Like, girl, when I say huge, I don't mean that lightly. I mean, baby, I was huge. And nothing would cover the bump. Nothing, okay? It was either I could cover the bump and flash the world what my mama gave me, or I could flash the bump and cover up what my mama gave me. There was no like happy medium between the two. I was one way or the other. There was no in between. And I came across Lularoe, and Lularoe took that burden away from me, allowed me to cover everything that I wanted to cover and feel so good about myself. I felt comfortable, like a weight had been taken off of my chest. And that was my first little bit of interaction with Lularoe. Later on, we started searching for more financial freedom. We needed something that would help us to do the remodels to our new home that we had just bought. So we had bought a house in town because our dream had always been to be out in the country with a little piece of land to call our own. And that financially was just not possible for a young family like ours. So our first house was in town, and we had bought it with the intent to fix it up, flip it, and hopefully somehow come out on top to where we could finally afford a place of our own out in the country with land. So that's kind of what started us down the Lularoe path. I was already in a different business that I loved and that I was successful at, but it didn't hold a candlestick to the potential that Lularoe has. And so as I started investigating Lularoe more, we finally decided after several months and lots of prayers that Lularoe was right for us. So right after we decided it was right for us, we just dove right in and we started getting to work. And I can honestly say that I don't think my husband was a true believer in the potential that Lularoe could have for us. And I was still not sure what that potential held, but I was darn determined to show him that there was more to it than even he could comprehend. So we slowly just started out, and I went to work, and we started having more funds to do the remodels quicker. We had funds to go out to eat, even if it was something simple like McDonald's. That was something that we didn't have a luxury of prior to Lularoe. And we finally had funds that we could say yes to some things for our kids that we couldn't say yes to before. We finally had money for date nights, movies, going out to eat, just simple little things like that that a lot of the time can be taken for granted, was things that we didn't have the luxury of that Lularoe gave us. In addition to the remodel on the house and getting more work done and more supplies in quicker. So that was kind of the first step. And my husband still wasn't quite there yet. He still didn't quite see the potential and the good that Lularoe was offering us as a family. And so over time I said, well, you know what? I want to cruise qualify. I'm going to cruise qualify. And I kind of explained to him what that requirement was, and he said there was no way that was going to happen. He was not a believer whatsoever, and I am the type of personality that if you challenge me, then I'm going to prove you wrong. And so that's exactly what I did. It just kind of lit a fire underneath me to prove him wrong, and I did. I did just that. We were able to cruise qualify, and the Lularoe cruise last year was the most amazing experience that we've ever had as a couple, and for me personally too. Sorry. Like I said before, there's a lot of blessings that Lularoe brings into your lives, and some of them you don't even realize you needed until they're there for you. And one of them was just the need that I had as an individual to feel accomplished and successful. I had everything I really ever truly needed in life. I had some of my biggest, dreams and aspirations. I was a mom and I was a wife, and that was all I ever wanted. But staying home sometimes in that role, you get a lot of, oh, you're just a mom. And that hurts a little bit. I was a very driven, outgoing. I did a lot of things early on. I'm only 25, and I have 3 kids. We got married shortly after I turned 18. I had graduated high school early. I had been a pageant coordinator when I was only 12 years old. Like, I have always just gone and done. And for me to kind of accept this new role as a mom who stayed home and that's all I did, that was hard for a little while. I always wanted to own my own business, and I didn't really see that happening anytime soon. And Lularoe fulfilled that without me even thinking about it when I first started. And so doing something as hard as what the Lularoe cruise was last year opened my eyes and just made me so appreciative of the work that it took to get there. And it opened my husband's eyes too. Prior to leaving on the cruise, we kind of hit a work hiccup zone for him, where we were in a really kind of bad spot and ultimately had to step away from his job, which made Lularoe our primary financial support. So that was really scary. I knew that I had the potential. I knew that Lularoe could do it for us. And even more so, I was a little bit more empowered by the fact that my husband trusted me enough to say that I could do it and that Lularoe could do it. He was not in that position prior to cruise qualifying. And the fact that he believed in me enough at that point to entrust the family responsibilities in my hands for that short amount of time, it was huge. So we were able to just take that time on the cruise, really enjoy ourselves, and learn from other power couples who had been doing this business together and who had been successful. And you really got to see them live kind of a fantasy dream. I married my husband to be with him. I didn't marry somebody to have them work constantly. So this, even though it was a trial that we were going through, and even though it was scary and hard for him to leave his job and for Lularoe to become our sole financial stability, it was empowering at the same time. So coming home from the cruise, we saw kind of a new opportunity, a new way to live our lives and have more freedom. And we didn't want to let that go. And so he went to work on the house right away. We were able to push through and just knock out so much more of the remodeling so much quicker. It was a little bit of a transition period. We had to kind of learn to just, I had to learn how to work with him home when I was so used to him just being gone, and a lot of my schedule consisted of working while he was gone so that I could be with him when he was home. And so it was a little bit of a transition, but we got the hang of it, and we were able to finish the house remodel, still be working hard on our Lularoe. Lularoe took care of us. It was great. And then another job that we had kind of had lined up came open in a few months after that. So it all worked out. It was great. Lularoe provided for us, and that was something that I don't know how we would have made it through that. I don't know how we would have had the ability to leave that situation behind when we really needed to without Lularoe. And we definitely wouldn't have gotten the house remodel done so quick, so fast, and done such awesome job on it if it wasn't for Lularoe. So it was a transition period afterwards, but we made it through. We got that new job, and we put the house on the market. We sold the house, and here we are, months later, after lots of more ups and downs that life wanted to throw at us. And we finally have that little piece of land out in the country. So the work is not done yet. We have so much more to do to this little home. We have to add on to it and make it fit our family. But we have 10 beautiful acres to call our own now. And that whole dream is kind of made possible by Lularoe. And we're so extremely grateful for that. So there's so many blessings that this business has given. There's so many things that we can't really compile it all into one. But I know that our biggest dreams and goals that we set out to do when we started Lularoe have come true, and they're going to continue to come true because we're here for the long haul. So I guess in short, our Lularoe review is that there's no company out there that can do what this business has done for us. From the financial side of things to the friendship side of things, there's so many aspects that go into this business that it's so much more than just selling clothes. And I truly feel like it really does strengthen our family. Just like the motto says, I feel closer to my husband through this business. I feel like I'm teaching my kids work ethic. They know that mommy's working. They know that mommy is trying to do things for them. Sorry. And I'm appreciative of the work that I'm blessed with because of this opportunity. And without the opportunity, I don't know where we would be in our lives. And I definitely know that I wouldn't feel the personal satisfaction, the personal happiness that I'm given through serving others and working this business. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed our Lularoe review. If you are somebody that is looking for potential in life, financial change, looking for that spark of you that you've lost, looking for friendship, looking for ways to serve others, this is the business to get it done. And I would love to talk to you about that and help you into this business as well. So I hope you enjoy this little piece of us, and thanks for coming and chatting with us. time. Can't even. So, we're here with Jay Solomon. The better half of this business?
The best half.
The best half? Do you remember your first impression of Lularoe leggings?
Nope. Too many leggings to go.
Too many leggings ago. But you liked jeans, didn't you?
Sure.
And then it went to squishy bums.
What squishy bums are you talking about?
My squishy bums.
I don't remember.
Remember, in leggings, they're just much more jiggly. Am I normally this good looking?
Nope.
Normally, I'm not this good looking. This is 1 out of 5 times in a month you might see makeup on this face.
More like 3.
What is your favorite part of Lularoe?
It'd be more favorable if it bought me more guns.
True that you create feelings in others that they themselves do not understand.
That one is true.
What do you have to say?
Whether it's love or hate.
Okay, how should you sign off this thing?
Goodbye.